All right. So, what we got to do today is this. I'm a little bit worn out, but we got to go through this. So, let's find what this video is called. Okay, it's called "Things We Said Today." #362 Macca Dream Sets. So let's say Macca Dream Sex. So let's see what the experts have got to say, because this is I've been through this. In fact, I had to watch it earlier, which is why I'm a little bit exhausted, because this particular program lasts for let me see. It lasts for an hour and a half. Not quite an hour and a half, but even the segment where it says about Andrew Dixon discovering their Paul McCartney 12-inch on now, that's what I call 12-inch remasters remixed, right? And it took him 2 minutes and 13 to explain it. And you might think, oh, that's the blink of an eye in the in the sands of time. It's nothing. But somebody said in the comments below, the remix 6-minute Once Upon a Long Ago must be over quicker than what he's talking about it. And I thought, yeah, well, we could put that to a scientific test. We could actually time them. And I think, hello, Vinyl Dale. Yeah, and I think that Kenny Loggins' 2-minute narrative will actually outlast the 6-minute song. How does this happen? One asks. But, there are these, you remember Arthur C. Clarke and his Unexplained World? Oh, God, that used to freak me out. That did. Oh, the screaming skulls, all that kind of stuff. Where did they all come from? Is it a black man's curse? There are untold, mysterious things going on in the world. There's people I wouldn't want to go anywhere near because they might put a curse on me. Now, my nan, she was really frightened of gypsies. Now, it's a racist thing to say, I'm frightened of gypsies, don't like them. People just don't like gypsies because they're not gypsies. They're just travellers, and they're a pain in the arse, and they go around annoying everyone. But back in my nan's day, you get the more Romany type gypsies hanging about. And whenever they was hanging about down the road with their lucky heather, my nan would have a freak out and she'd start, oh, don't go near them. Don't take their heather. Please don't. And I said, why not? Just because they put a curse on you. I thought, fuck's sake. It was like living with a woman who'd come out of like Oliver Cromwell's time. But it was like that for a long time. It's only in the last 50 odd years we've become all decadent and everything. And, but people, they were very God-fearing. I think my nan herself, she was going to die when she was 4 years old because of that influenza thing. And you think, oh, flu, big deal. But in those days, it killed more people than the First World War. Anyway, what are we talking about this bullshit for? We've got to get on with this show. So remember, here we are. This is called Things We Said Today. Now, on episode 1 or part 1, what happened was we went through Kenny Loggins' songs, and they were terrible. They were awful. And the thing is, what they're doing, there's 3 of them here, Things We Said Todayers. Now, like I said, these people are worse than talk more talk. They're more extreme, or they think they're dead serious experts, and I bet they've all written a crappy book. But the one at the bottom, it's going to be his turn today. And believe you me, you thought Kenny Loggins, and this is unbelievable. You think Kenny Loggins was a laughing stock? Well, this bloke, I mean, this really pushes the boundary. Now, people have said in their defence, oh, well, this is their fantasy. This is, it's got to be whatever way they want it. But it's not, because they keep breaking the fourth wall. They say, in one occasion, they just sort of matter-of-factly say, oh, well, I was a little bit concerned in case he has trouble with his voice. In case he has trouble with his voice. Do you know? But I mean, they seem to be forgetting this, and they say, "Oh, well, maybe it's when he was singing good, and he was at the best of." But it's not, because, as you'll find out, they're all sort of saying, "Well, we can't have this person doing it because they're dead, and we can't have Linda because she's dead. So it is supposed to be this day and age. Otherwise, you could say, I want Jimmy McCulloch and John Lennon and Julian Lennon at the gig as well. Yeah, and they're all going to sing "Blow Away," and then everybody's going to fart at the end of the song and go. So anyway, listen, what we've got to do. So this video is called Things We Said Today, hashtag 362. That means there's 362 at least of these Things We Said Today videos. I shudder to think what these people are talking about in most of them. Some of the people have interviewed, and oh my God, it is honest. It's a treasure trove that, like the Serial Squadron, you know, it's a treasure trove that no one really wants. So, so anyway, you've got to get to. I think what is it? I've got this written down. I've got it all written down. You've got to get to 36 minutes 29 seconds. And then we're going to take it away with this man at the bottom, Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito looks, if you're watching at home on a separate device, if you have that luxury, then you'll be able to see him. But if you don't, I'll have to describe him. Hello, Brian. Yes, we're watching Things We Said Today, and we're going to go through Danny DeVito's choices tonight, because he's got a special concept gig going on. It's very exciting. So if you want to watch this at home, we've got to get to 36 minutes 29 seconds, or 36 minutes 30 seconds if you like. If you want to round it off, we're not going to miss much there. So let me see. I've got mine on 36:03 at the moment. We haven't started, but we will start in a minute, because this is worth listening to. So anyway, just to give you the background, and you'll be able to hear what he's got to say. He's got a concept show which could be turned into a small tour. It's a Wings reunion. Wings reunion. And yes, Paul said he's not going to bring Wings back. Apparently, these are the words of the Honey Monster, or Danny DeVito. So anyway, it's a charity. Paul's been persuaded by the fact that it's for charity, because he really cares. You know, he cares about the poor people. You know, he thinks about them all the time. And so, of course, he's been tempted back in because it's charity. Yes, and he cares. And it's also going to be, like I said, this wonderful excuse to get all these people back together, except Linda, because she's dead. Linda's dead, apparently. So, right, it's for charity. And the concert is going to be called, get a load of this, you will be rolling in your seats, On Linda's Wings. Anyway, let's get on with the video and listen to this for a few minutes, and then we'll discuss the choices of song which he's picked.
Back into the old key, because it's where your fingers kind of are used to going on that song.
Yeah, this is.
I can understand.
This is all explained. Don't worry.
But
William Hurt.
at this point, it may make sense for him.
Oh, hang on a minute. I just want to tell you, this William Hurt bloke. You know what he sounds like? He sounds like you remember Catch the Pigeon, Catch the Pigeon. You remember one of Dick Dastardly had this bloke who was right nervous when he said, "Whoa, yes, Chief." He sounds like that. Yes, Chief.
Okay, great choices there, Alan. Thank you.
He hated him.
Okay, Darren, you're next.
Shh, here we go.
Well, Alan's set was very much kind of a fantasy, or several different ideas kind of combined together, making it ultimately a dream show for a hardcore McCartney fan. I ended up putting together a concept show, which actually, I think somewhere in my notes here, it's a small tour. It is the reunion of Wings. And what I did do when I put it together was try to, knowing that Paul wouldn't be anal like I would be and pick just Wings songs, that he would kind of venture outside of Wings, even though this was a Wings show. I also did refer to past set lists. and tried to pick songs that I knew realistically he probably would do or would be willing to do. I didn't want to get too hardcore and make it, boy, Darren would love to hear Little Lamb Dragonfly if there's no shot of him performing Little Lamb Dragonfly.
All right, let me just stop you there. So he said that he wanted Little Lamb Dragonfly, but he's decided that no, just because he's not the right feel for the gig. But what he's totally dismissed already is the fact that Paul can't sing. He's just, I mean, this is why they're not experts, because they just made it up as they're going along. And it's all me. This is what I want. They haven't thought it through in the least. It's like I said, if they was tour promoters, they'd be sacked. They're rubbish. Let's say, because people say, let's have a look at the list of songs that great Paul McCartney's going to be singing. I say, what's this? Getting Closer, again and again and again, Denny Lane. Hang on a minute. Who am I going to see? Paul McCartney or fucking Bonzo Dog Doodah band? Yes. Anyway, if you're listening, I hope you can hear his words of wisdom, because it is coming up to the clincher when he says about. Did he already say? What's it called? On Linda's Wings. Hang on, let's get on with it. Shh. It lasts for 12 minutes, but it might seem like you're here for 2 hours. But we have to discuss it as well. So this could last for an hour. Let's get on with it.
Right. So what I did do was I did refer to old set lists. I saw what they opened with, like for example, in '79.
He's cheated.
What Beatle tunes did he tend to play a lot of in more recent tours? The few that he did back in the days of Wings, I refreshed my memory on those because they were Wings.
Come on,
not Wings songs, but they were things that he performed in the Wings.
Yeah, setting.
Right. So basically, and I wrote a little story here to set it all up.
I think William Hurt's asleep.
Linda McCartney died in 1998. Paul McCartney was always resistant to the idea of a reunion of Wings. Without Linda, there couldn't be a Wings.
Can I just interrupt at this point? Now, assuming, all right, so we know Linda's dead. So we know this is set in the present day. We know that Paul McCartney can't sing, and they're still ignoring another elephant in the room. In 1982, Denny Lane realised that Paul didn't want him back, that Wings were over, but Denny still had a big cocaine problem, and his girlfriend was leaving him, and he was broke. So, he had to sell his songwriting credits to Macca. Muller Kintyre, it didn't belong to him anymore. But he also sold his story to the grimiest newspaper in Britain, which was called News of the World. And I remember reading it very well. I remember, because I like Paul McCartney, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but I did take in what was said, and there was various different relatives of Paul saying what a wanker he was, and the headline was, I think it was going on for about 4 or 5 weeks. It was called Mean Man McCartney, and it went through a whole bunch of things where Linda was being petty with his dad's new wife's daughter and stuff like that, and it was all. And then Denny Lane stuck his oar in and said it was all hypocritical of them having sheep when they're not eating them, and there was right bitchiness going on. But he's lost his money after that, and now. But do you really think that Paul McCartney wants to be in the same room as Denny Lane? He don't have to be. He don't want nothing to do with Denny Lane. He's not going to say, fuck your mum, mate," when he sees him. But he's not going to go out of his way and say, "Oh, Denny, come here. Do you want to come and join us in the VIP bar?" Swivel, mate. That's what it's going to be, isn't it? Anyway, let's get on with this fantasy of this ridiculous man.
But Paul's mind is changed when the idea is raised of doing a charity concert or small tour in Linda's memory. Linda would have turned 80 on September 24th, 2021. And 2021 marked the 50th anniversary of Wings' formation and the release of their first album, Wildlife. So Paul decided to go with the plan for a small tour.
Right, just before he says it, under those conditions, if my auntie had a beard, she'd be my uncle. Here we go, here we go.
And he contacted most of the surviving members of Wings and asked them to come on for this brief reunion anniversary tour, which would be called On Linda's Wings. And for the reunion, Paul naturally...
Even Kenny Loggins laughed at that. Oh God, put that back on.
Pick songs that I knew realistically he probably would do, in a way, not Wing songs, but they were things that would be willing to do. I didn't want to get too hardcore and make it.
Oh, hang on, I've gone pop.
It is the reunion of Wings. And what I did do when I put it together was trying to, knowing that Paul wouldn't be anal like I would be and pick just Wing songs, that he would kind of venture outside of Wings, even though this was a Wings show. I also did refer to past set lists and tried to pick songs that I knew realistically he probably would do or would be willing to do.
I'm sure we've heard all this.
And make it, boy, Darren would love to hear Lip.
Oh.
There couldn't be Wings. But Paul's mind has changed when the idea is raised of doing a charity concert.
Yeah, but you haven't even heard his choices yet.
In Linda's memory. Linda would have turned 80 on September.
Oh, here we go, here we go. Get ready for this. On Linda's bingo Wings.
Formation and the release of their first album, Wildlife. So, Paul decided to go with the plan for a small tour, and he contacted most of the surviving members of Wings and asked them to come on for this brief reunion anniversary tour, which would be called On Linda's Wings. For the reunion, Paul naturally would play bass and guitar and piano. Jenny Lane, of course, would be there, and he'd be the rhythm guitarist. He'd play some bass and piano. Lawrence Juber would...
Oh, they love Lawrence Juber.
And both Denny Sywell and Steve Holly would play drums.
So they've got two drummers there, that doesn't matter.
Tour. Besides Linda, Henry McCullough and Jimmy McCullough, of course, are no longer with us. So Paul was able to get them in the band. That would really be something pretty fascinating.
Wouldn't it be rubbish?
Missing would be Joe English, who is no longer in the music business, and Jeff Britton, who wasn't contacted. Because I just don't...
Oh, hang on a minute, hang on.
Those are...
Pause for thought here. He's just said, oh yeah, we want to get all the ex-members of Wings, including two drummers, apart from dead people. However, he's also said, it's got nothing to do with the rules, he's making it up as he's going along. He says, we're not going to have Jeff Britton or Joe English. I don't know why. Are they racist or something? Let's get on with the show. Let's find out. Let's find out.
I think like, completely different worlds. Jeff Britton.
He wasn't there that long enough anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it don't matter. Like, if they wanted to have a Beatles reunion and get Pete Best, you could still say, yeah, he was in the Beatles, can't you? I know it's cheating, but he wasn't in the band long enough. Well, what's it got to do with it? He was in the band, wasn't he? God's sakes, why does Lawrence Juber get and Steve Holly get all the bloody attention? Why are they so bloody important? Now, I was saying the other day when Back to the Egg come out, it went without even anybody noticing, because it was just weird. People weren't expecting these new members, and they thought, oh, it's all kind of cheap now, and everyone was laughing at him in Glasgow, weren't they? But anyway, let's just get on. And he got arrested in Japan, and this was one of the first times he was high profile, busted for drugs, and every time he made a bigger fool of himself. So let's hear some more. We'll get through this 12 minutes. We will do one day. So let's go. Come on in. Uh-oh, it's frozen.
And of course, if I were doing the thing, I'd invite everybody. So I could, you look at it like, Paul's not approaching this as you.
Well, if you only need 5 people in a band, why do you want to get 10 people on stage?
Wouldn't be rung up, but it would make total sense to have both Jay Sywell and Steve Holly there. And how many bands have 2 drummers? So there's plenty of them. All right. Okay,
before we get started, right, he's got some very peculiar ideas as well. I mean, you think, oh, fair enough. Paul McCartney can't sing that song, he can't sing that song, he can't sing that song. And it seems like he's stolen the set list for Wings Over America to start off with. But then things get very weird. Now, remember, this takes about 12 minutes, so we'll try and let it play. If we have to stop things, we'll stop things. Here we go. This is his medley coming up. He's opening medley.
So joining the reunited Wings would be veteran McCartney keyboardist Wicks, because you're the keyboard player there for the whole thing. And I'm thinking of when I put this together, I was thinking of when.
Has he mentioned that he wants the entire cast of Rockestra, including the perverts that are in prison at the moment, or what? I mean, hang on.
Number of the early / original members of Santana reunited about maybe 5 years ago, or within the past 5 years, and there were a couple of current members of Santana who were part of the band, because you need a bass player, you needed another percussionist. No, bass player and percussion. So
now what he's doing is he's excusing the fact there's going to be about 70 musicians or 30 drummers and 20 guitarists on stage. It just ain't going to work. It ain't, is it? Oh, anyway, let's So
some of the more contemporary people were involved in this case, Paul needing a keyboard player. Wicks was the obvious choice to be part of this show. Almost the entire set list would be Wings songs, but not everything. So, because Wingspan is Wingspan, but there's plenty of pre and post Wings songs on that. So I took that into consideration.
So he's breaking the rules again. He's saying that it's going to be a Wings concert, but it don't have to be all Wings songs. Like I said, he's copying Wings Over America concepts again and tracks. But like I said, we'll get to that because it does get very weird. And I know I've said this to you, but stay tuned in, because, and if you're watching at home, this is, like I said, this you cannot get through this video, even though it's only an hour and a half, in one sitting. I mean, sometimes it's taken me about a week so far to get this far into it. let me just, I digress. Let me just carry on now. Shh. Listen to this man's thoughts. I'm wondering what he's got under that baseball cap. Probably a fucking zip. You know what I mean? Could just open the top of his skull up and see if his brain's in place.
And Paul just couldn't possibly do a show without doing Hey Jude, even if it's a Wings-centric show. So, all right, everything opens up, and I wanted to avoid the obvious opener, but this is, there's nothing that explosion at the beginning of Wings Over America for me is one of my favorite Wings moments. Venus and Mars rock show, but I broke Jed off from that.
Baby, I'm amazed.
So this tour will open with Venus and Mars and a shortened version of Rock Show, because when Paul did Resurrect Rock Show, and I don't remember what tour it was, within the past 10, 15
No, listen, believe it or not, this is 12 minutes of getting it off his chest. It will seem a long time, though.
Sort of that. So that's what we start with. Venus and Mars into Rock Show, quickly into Junior's Farm. and then into a, yes.
You could have Jeff Britton come for a guest spot in Junior's.
This is true. This is true.
One song and goodbye.
After Junior's Farm, Let Me Roll It, which would, if there's going to be a Wings reunion, that's one of the.
Let Me Roll It, yeah, he could sing that.
Fixture in this tour these days. So Venus and Mars, Rock Show, short version. Junior's Farm, Let Me Roll It, Jet.
Okay, did you get all of those tracks? This isn't so much on Linda's Wings tour as Wings Over America rip-off tour at the moment. But like I said, it gets very psychedelic in a minute. It's very weird.
Taking his voice into consideration, which I did do in the way I put the set together.
Right, did you hear that? He said he's been taking his voice into consideration. So far, he's picked Venus and Mars, Rock Show, Junior's Farm, Let Me Roll It. And he's about to pick Jet, 20 Flight Rock, and Lady Madonna. And we've heard him sing Lady Madonna already. So, anyway,
And I tried to put this together in a way that Paul would do it with his current shows. From the rockers, it slows down a little bit. 20 Flight Rock would come next after Jet. Then Paul goes to the piano to do Lady Madonna, which Wings performed in 70s, the mid 70s.
Yeah.
And then
the gig you're ripping off
is Linda's centric show. Remembering that he's married now to Nancy, My Valentine would be the next song.
My Valentine. Why didn't we think of this? Why didn't Paul think of this song before? My Valentine. He's just said because he's married to Nancy. Now, I'm glad you've noticed he's actually remarried and he's trying to start a new life off with his new wife. So why would he be doing on Linda's Wings? Why? You see, none of this makes sense. This is the babblings of a lunatic. But let us pray. Let him continue. Let him dig his grave. Oh, no. Oh, shit.
Understand why he wants to keep it.
Music business and Jeff Britton, who wasn't contacted. Because I just don't think that, those I think are like, completely different worlds. Jeff Britton.
He wasn't there that long enough anyway.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Original members of Santana reunited.
Oh, we've heard that, yeah.
Wings moments, Venus and Mars, Rock Show. Mm-hmm. But I broke Jet off from that opening medley. So this tour will open with Venus and Mars and a shortened version of Rock Show.
Shortened version. You've got to remember he's picked.
I don't remember what tour it was.
He's picked about 35 songs for the poor bastard to sing. They're expecting him to work for his money here, as well as singing shit songs that he hasn't got the power to sing anymore. They're just, it'd probably be all right on the night, he's, what he's like. He sounds wonderful at this, and he can't sing anymore. He's an old geezer. You go, geezer. just breaking all the rules. Because they think because we're Beatle experts, we can just make it up as we go along.
Within the past 10, 15 years, it was sort of a troubled version of Rock Show.
Well, hello, fit to be tied on. I've got to tell you that this part is even worse than part one with Kenny Loggins' choice. This is if you're watching at home, everybody, this is things we said today. #362 Macca Dream Sets, and I'm on precisely 42 minutes 29 seconds. This has been going on for only 8 minutes so far. We've got a lot to get through. It is very bizarre. It's very peculiar, and I'm glad you're here because, like I said, this is the territory that these so-called experts can take us in. Like I said, we had Kenny Loggins' choices yesterday or the day before that, and they were diabolical. They were ridiculous. There is no accounting for his voice condition. And like I said, if you say, oh, this is just a fantasy, well, why isn't Linda alive in the fantasy? No, it's something we've got to get through. So if you'll allow me to continue with this thing, we've got to get to it. I think there's another 42:29. So I think probably another 12 minutes. No, we've had about half of this time, 5 minutes. So let's continue.
It's like the single was.
Yeah, sort of that. So that's what we start with. Venus and Mars into rock show, quickly into Junior's Farm, and then into a yes.
You could have Jeff Britton come for a guest spot in Junior's Farm.
This is true.
One song and goodbye.
After Junior's Farm, Let Me Roll It, which would, if it's going to be a Wings reunion, that's one of the no-brainer songs because it's a fixture in this tour these days. So Venus and Mars, rock show, short version. Junior's Farm, Let Me Roll It, Jet. Taking his voice into consideration, which I did do in the way I put the set together, and I tried to put this together in a way that Paul would do it with his current shows. From the rockers, it slows down a little bit. 20 Flight Rock would come next after Jet. Then Paul goes to the piano to do Lady Madonna, which Wings
Lady Madonna.
in 70s.
I mean, they're just pulling these out of a hat.
And then, even though this is a Linda-centric show, remembering that he's married now to Nancy, My Valentine would be the next song that he would do after Lady Madonna. And he's at the...
Just to anybody that's just joined us, just to let you know that this dream gig of Danny DeVito, aka the Honey Monster, it's called. Now, no laughing, right? It's called On Linda's Wings, and it's a Wings tour.
Yeah, Paul would always group the piano songs together a bit, pick it up a bit tempo-wise, and bring Wings back into the picture from My Valentine into 1985. And then Paul could take a break with the vocals at this point.
All right, now listen, Paul's just taking a break at this moment. He's what has he done? He's done he's done My Valentine, which is a no-brainer, as he said, and 1985. Can you imagine him singing it? And now he's going to take a break. So what do we get after the break? Let's have a look. This is highly feasible.
And put the spotlight on Denny Lane as they do Go Now.
Gonad.
Time to Hide. So Denny would get a couple of lead vocals there where Paul could rest his voice. And then...
Yeah, I know it's called On Linda's Wings, but it's still a Paul McCartney gig. I don't want to go and see Denny Lane and your bloody boyfriend, Lawrence Juba. Anyway.
He comes back to Wings with Letting Go. And now we're going to kind of get the acoustic stuff rolling. I've Just Seen a Face. Again, a Beatles tune that Wings did back in the day. Into Blackbird, same thing.
Blackbird.
Then into Bluebird, which I could see Paul making kind of a joke or a quip about doing Blackbird and Bluebird and then repeating that same quip at every show that he does during this tour. So they go from I've Just Seen a Face to Blackbird to Bluebird. And then time for...
You see, why did he pick I've Just Seen a Face as this Beatle track? I'll tell you why, because he's stolen half the set list from Wings Over America.
The band to take a break, and the spotlight goes on Lawrence Juba.
Now that this bit is totally ridiculous. I could not believe what I was hearing, but I should tell you, so you could hear it in plain English. He said Lawrence Juba's taking on an acoustic guitar spot, and he's going to do listen to what the man said on his acoustic guitar while I presume Paul's having a cup of tea or snorting some cocaine behind the set, or maybe just having an adrenaline fix. And also another song that he's talking about, which Lawrence Juba's going to do, and I couldn't quite hear what the song was, but he knows. He said "Mezoo, Mezoo." So let's listen. Let's listen.
There's a solo acoustic. Listen to what the man said, because I thought that to be a song that Paul wouldn't attempt to sing today. And being that, again, in the taking the opportunity of having other musicians who could take the center stage and give a break, LJ gets a solo acoustic thing, which is his thing, the solo acoustic music. And then LJ then does a solo acoustic.
LJ. Old LJ.
You know, Paul has done Listen to What the Man Said in recent.
So I know that. It's not a song he does that often.
Kenny Loggins is just giving him the snob. He just said, he's told him off because, you see, Honey Monster is now backpedaling. He knows he's gone too far when he started saying that Lawrence Juber's going to do these acoustic songs. Now Kenny Loggins ain't having it. He's saying, no, I will not have that. I will have my Paul McCartney and Wings singing. Listen to What the Man Said. Not Lawrence Juber illegally playing it when he wasn't part of the set list. Anyway, that's maybe what he'll say, but maybe he won't. Maybe he's just been a bitchy bastard. But shh.
No, and I thought that was one that he probably wouldn't attempt today, but it's a Wings, it's a number one, it's a big part of Wings.
So let's get this right. He's not going to have a strong enough vocal to sing Listen to What the Man Said, but he's strong enough vocal to sing Jet, Let Me Roll It, Venus and Mars Rock Show, Junior's Farm, 1985, Letting Go, I've Just Seen a Face, Blackbird and Bluebird. So why is Listen to What the Man Said such an awkward song to sing these days? His voice, according to these people's rules, his voice only suffers from time to time by looks of it, once in a blue moon.
So what better way to do it than Lawrence do a solo version? He did it on his One Wing album.
Right.
So, and then into Maisie, which is a Lawrence Juber song from Wings.
Oh, honest, hang on a minute. How much is Lawrence Juber paying this bloke? Nobody's even heard of Lawrence Juber. And I know, Lawrence Juber's a lovely man, I know. But anyway, let's carry on.
For Lawrence to shine, here's a song that may or may not should have been released. Well, here's this moment to, be right smack in the middle of a Wings set. Band comes back out, they do Coming Up. And at this point, I realized, all right, I haven't hit on a few albums here. And you got to hit on Back to the Egg, being that you've got Lawrence and Steve Howe in the band. But I could very easily see Paul passing over London Town and Wildlife. For no other reason, I could just see him not worrying too much about hitting on every single album. But Back to the Egg, it would be hard for him to ignore that in this show. So after Coming Up, which is from that era anyway, Getting Closer.
Oh,
and then
no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
For Denny Lane to come up front and do them again and again and again.
Oh.
Before, and I didn't make it.
Now listen to this bit. This I think is about as stupid as it gets. Really is.
No, here, I thought Denny could also sing the lead on Seaside Woman. It is, sort of a tribute. It is a tribute to Linda. So Seaside Woman, maybe with Denny singing the lead, coming after again and again.
All right, now listen. Listen, this 12 minutes is going on for 16 hours. Now, I just want to go through the rest of the tracks because now we've got about halfway through, but we can't listen to him talking about them and justifying what he's doing because he's just making it up as he's going along. But anyway, after Seaside Woman, sung amazingly by Denny Lane. Why? I don't know. I thought they was like feminine lyrics though, like the I don't know. But anyway, Denny Lane's going to sing Seaside Woman. All right, and again and again and again. Yeah, why? Anyway, and he's going to do My Love. He's going to slow it down for My Love. This was stolen from Wings Over America as well. And then also this one, Maybe I'm Amazed. You can't sing that one. And also this one, The Long and Winding Road. And then he says he's got to have the stage explode. And I can play that bit for you, maybe. And he's got to have Live and Let Die, and the stage will explode. So I don't know how he's going to get Band on the Run and Get Back sung afterwards if the stage has been blown up. Anyway, let me just fast forward this a little bit because we've got to get these.
Happy. And then the alarm clock rings, and I wake up, and that's the end of the dream of the Wings. And then now we get to start winding things up. The big one of the big Wings finales, Live and Let.
Now listen, so he said Live and Let Die, and Band on the Run, and then he's going to finish on Get Back. But guess what? Paul McCartney's got to earn his money today. He's included an encore, and the encore is going to be Let 'Em In and Hey Jude. Now after this, I bet he'd be pretty worn out, but no. This man wants a double encore, and he also wants I Saw Her Standing There. That he hasn't got a clue. Don't he know that the song's it's linked to paedophilia these days? Don't he know anything? And then, you know, just to round it off, after I Saw Her Standing There, he's gonna slow everything down with Mull of Kintyre. I mean, but anyway, let's listen to his babbling.
Let Die. They blow the stage up. And then they do Band on the Run, and the show comes to a close with Get Back because of all the Get Back stuff. So a little reality in there. Encore, they come back out, they do Let 'Em In and Hey Jude. Leave the stage, everyone wants more. They come back out, final two songs. I Saw Her Standing There. And it ends with Mull of Kintyre. And everyone goes home, and Darren's very happy. And then the alarm clock rings, and I wake up.
At this point, Kenny Loggins is going to say something bitchy to him. And for once, I'm on Kenny Loggins' side. This man has made a complete mockery of the show, even more than Kenny Loggins did. And Kenny Loggins was coming out with some absolute crap yesterday, really. I mean, it was embarrassing to behold. Yeah. Do you know, those pipers won't come back to help him with Mull of Kintyre because he screwed them, didn't he? He gave them all 20 quid each. And then there was all this, it was the biggest selling song of all time. And then they say, oh, do you know he only give the pipers 20 quid a piece as session musicians? So there was such an outrage, he had to give them 200 quid each, which is still fuck all. Anyway, so let's hear what Kenny Loggins has to say in conclusion to this ridiculousness.
And that's the end of the dream of the Wings reunion show called On Linda's Wings, a tribute to Linda and a celebration of Wings' 50th anniversary. And I didn't realize when I did this that Linda actually was older than Paul. I didn't realize that because I wanted to check on the date and saw that she would have.
Yeah, and also on that day it was Idi Amin's birthday, and also my auntie, she got married for the 4th time on that day. So he's got a point. It all links up. It all links up. Anyway, come on.
Would have been 80, and the same year the Wings would have been 50. Bingo, there's where I'm going. I'm going Wings with my fantasy set list.
Interesting thing, you know, when I thought of my dream McCartney concert, I didn't think about who the musicians would be in his band. It was strictly just the songs I was thinking about. But it sounds to me, Darren, like you've been listening to a lot of Wings Over America and the 1979 UK tour. Because
Humiliated. He did. He's stolen from the 1979 tour and Wings Over America, and then anything he's put in by himself is absolute rubbish. I mean, it's total bullshit. This is the worst one. And I was going to say we could do William Hurt tomorrow, but to be honest with you, William Hurt's, it's rubbish, but it's not worth listening to. What he's picked 35 songs as well, and he's just like, oh well, I'm choosing the Abbey Road. Like I said, they're making these Paul McCartney work. This is, I'm picking the Abbey Road medley, and I'm using it as one song, which is going to have an encore with Mull of Kintyre and 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover and Backseat of my Car, and the medley with which I've conceived myself, which is blackbird, bluebird, redbird, yellowbird, wing-tailed bird, and it'll be wonderful. And the end of the concert, I'm going to say thank you to everybody individually for all they've done. And Lawrence Juber's going to come on and bow 3 times. But anyway, what I'm going to say at the end of this, because we've got to the end of Mr. Danny DeVito's choices and his dream gig, and he's dreamed it. His dream Macca gig is the babblings of a madman. There's no two ways about it. This is complete lunacy, and he shouldn't pick 35 songs. So what I'm going to challenge you people, all 17 of you at home, and everybody, tell your friends, Music Man, Winston Lennon, Richie Dolin, Beautiful Egg, Vinyl Rewind, TJR, Robert Kinsler, everybody go out there and do your own perfect Macca gig. And you can be like these people and not even think about it and just say, I'll pick this one and I'll pick that one. Or else you can think yourself, oh, it's something I couldn't do. Now, what songs could that man sing? But then again, if you say, yeah, and it's this day and age and he's not going to sing too well, but I've got to give him soft songs that he could, listen, I'm going to Paul McCartney to see him singing his bestest songs, not just the songs that Paul McCartney can sing at the moment. No, it's got to be Paul McCartney sings his best hits. You know, I don't want 16 tracks from Back to the Egg. Thanks very much. So anyway, here it is. You've got to pick 12 songs that Paul McCartney can sing in a gig, and it's the perfect gig, just for fun. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I need a cup of tea. I've got a dry throat after all that. This is terrible. On Linda's Wings. Goodbye.